Footage Live Television, Kevin Tika, Tennessee Top Presentation. Today we are blessed to be in the company of Reverend Francis Kollie. He is the founder and the general overseer of the Christian Fellowship NGO that you made. So today we are blessed to be in his company as we speak currently. We are currently at their head office here in Pingsville. A pleasant good morning, Reverend, and welcome to Footage Live Television.
Good morning, Brother Kevin, and good morning, my brother, and good morning to our listening audience around the world, wherever you are. It's a pleasure to engage with a greater community to inform them about our work.
Now, the name Reverend Francis Kollie. I want to know who is out there in the next world. I want to know who is this Reverend Kollie.
Well, I mean, Kollie is not a stranger, especially when it comes to Liberia, and yes, some part of the world. Of course, I have traveled intensively around the world. I am the country director of Prison Fellowship Liberia. I have my mother body in the United States, in Washington D.C. Prison Fellowship International, which has about 128 member countries around the world. We are involved in social justice, promotion of social justice around the world. I'm a Liberian, of course. I'm well married. I have my children well established. I have a church over close to 300 persons. Prison Fellowship has a total number of employees, around 70% across the country. We are right now in about 12 counties of the 15 counties of Liberia. And so we are doing great, and I'm grateful to God, for the support of my family, my wife, my staff, and everybody, that promoting human rights and social justice in Liberia.
Okay, somebody watching this interview would like to know what gave you all the urge to contribute so much good title and development of Liberia.
Well, the first thing is I would say, governments. And so once government can create an environment, and those of us that have the urge or the passion to have government, you come in the bit and pieces to be able to have the government to develop. And so I think in my own weak will or Prison Fellowship will is a way that we want to have government, both the past governments and present government, to kind of bring our quota to the development of our society, especially when it comes to the promotion of people's rights, and justice for people. As you may know, the world at large has become so violent. The world at large has become so, very, very much. I would say 700,000 world leaders are now plundering countries' resources, and the rights of people are being violated when it comes to justice being denied for the very poor people. And so we as civil society organizations, we have to stand up to the task to be able to constructively engage governments, to be able to make sure that those social services and social justice is provided for their citizens.
What have been your achievements so far since you are ascended to this position as head of the Prison Fellowship? Well,
I've been the head of Prison Fellowship for almost quite 18 years now. We have been able to work with government constructively. Some of the things that you can see, you see happening now in our justice sector is as a result of Prison Fellowship constructive engagement with government. For example, the magistrate setting program that goes on at the Monrovia Central Prisons, the training of more lawyers, the public defenders, the construction of some courts in the different counties of the country. Those are some of our achievements. Some of the reform you see in the laws, some of the laws that you see being reformed is as a result of prison fellowship engagement with government. You talk about the land reform commissions that we work with, we partner with, the law reform commissions as well that we partner with, and the Minister of Justice South that we see today. You have the eyes on child justice issues. Is as a result of prison fellowship Liberia. The prisons that you see around, you see the prison conditions are a little bit improved. Is as a result of prison fellowship Liberia, where we provide material assistance, technical assistance, and we have been so much involved with those, and the training of corrections officers. Those are also part of our very much engagement. We go to some of the prisons, you see construction of what I would say, even clinics and some of those clinics, those prisons, is as a result of prison fellowship, constructive engagement with government. Even though we be provided some cash, material-wise, I think prison fellowship is here to help government. And if there are things that government cannot do, we have been able to do. Provide vehicles for government to be able to reach out to those who are, language behind bars. We have provided some legal assistance to thousands of Liberians who found themselves in jail and could not afford a lawyer. So we have to employ lawyers to be able to provide legal services to some of those people.
Great. With all of these good things that you have said about yourself and that of the organization, Prison Fellowship itself, I guess there should be some challenges you face since you've been spearheading the Prison Fellowship. You care to name some of the challenges, a major one that you face with?
Well, the first thing is every government that comes in come with their own priorities. Okay. All right. So those are some of those challenges we do have, because some government comes in and either prioritize what your programs, what you want to do, and sometimes some of those very government years they will not prioritize some of those very things that you are doing. For example, if you talk about reform or changes, right? Maybe training of more lawyers to be able to provide legal assistance or probably defenders. That was one of the key components of Ellen Johnson's, former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration, right? She tried to promote the rule of law. Unlike now, we don't see much yet into the new administration, the promotion of the rule of law into Liberia, as it relates to the system itself. And so those are some of those very challenging. Many people do not want change. So whenever you want to bring in some changes, you'll meet with resistance and all of that. And of course, as you may know, globally, financial shortageness is one of the biggest challenges. Prison fellowship would love to do lots. As we speak now, we now are about to just embark on a very sensitive project sponsored by the UN Women, where we're going to provide legal aid assistance to females in jail, those are in police station, those are in prison, and those are in community. And besides that, we also want to help them to understand the right of women in the community, and that's a very huge challenge. Liberia, in the Liberian context, when you're talking about women's rights, the male gender sometimes think that you are trying to overlook them, and so but we're trying to bring the male gender on board so that they get to know that, hey, come on, women got rights, and they got rights just as male gender got rights. So it's equal rights. So why step on the women or why abuse women? And so we're gonna be bringing male genders, excuse me, on board to have workshop with them, to do training in the county. They're going to be very, very great. So those are some of those challenges that we do have, and we hope that we can, bypass some of those challenges to be able to get.
Kollie will be coming in with a follow-up question, but let me just bring you to this question. You said that this current government is not actually looking at your own agenda as to see how best you can be able to look at the aspect of legal people training and a lot of lawyers or maybe a city solicitor and so on. Now, have you been able to engage those government entity or institutions or arm that are responsible for such areas? What have they saying to you?
Well, the first and foremost thing is that government is continuity.
Okay.
So you come on board as a new leader, you want to start from where your predecessor started or ended, right? So as we speak now, there is before this government during Madam Salif's terms and the former administration, the Justice Ministry, we have drafted a policy on legal aid, paralegal, that's supposed to start providing free legal aid. Up to now, that document, we don't know the whereabouts of that document. Nobody have talked about that. And this is a document that's going to provide free legal aid to citizens. And we are also trying to promote the ADRs, right? The use of the alternative dispute resolution. That people in the villages, they know where there are no courts, where there are no police, where there are no judges, right? They can be able to resolve their, what we call like their palaver without police intervention. And once it's not, criminal in nature. So government need to, this government need to, begin to say that, hey, the promotion of human rights is very much important. The promotion of rule of law is very much important, because when you listen to some of those very government officials, for example, we are talking about accountability. Prison fellowship believe in accountability. High grade of accountability, and we are talking about past, present, and future. So if you are the government official, key government official, you come and say accountability for us is the last thing on our agenda. Where is our human rights status, right? Where is our rule of law status? So you say, no, come on, we don't think that accountability is as important as building school. It's not as important as building hospital. It's not as important of every bit of piece of social justice is very, very important. So for example, you're hearing now about the war crime court, right? And this is an issue of accountability. What we are telling people need to be accountable of their actions, right? Now, you are entitled to your right, but you're with somebody's right, then you must give account. You must be accountable. And so we are telling Liberians and Liberian government that, hey, there has to be accountability in whatever, whether it's financial accountability, human rights accountability. There has to be people have to be accountable of their actions. Whatever actions that you carry out against an individual or against the state, you must bear the full weight.
So this means that you support the establishment of war crime court in Liberia?
Oh, of course, very much. We support 100%. I was in Geneva, and we met with a committee that drafted the recommendation for Liberia. In fact, I'm one of the drafters of the report on Liberia regarding this human rights. I'm a member of the civil society human rights platforms. I'm one of the key heads of the platform, and so we drafted a report to send to ICCPR, and we were also in Geneva with government to make sure that war crime code or economic crime is established in Liberia. My brother, it's not about individual. It's not that people hate government. It's not that people are against George Weah. He's a good guy. He's a good president, good thing, and he can do well. But you see what? He must start to hold people accountable. If he starts to hold people accountable, he will do so well. He will have this country at peace. But if you're not going to hold people accountable, my dear, this country is at the verge of going back to war. Going back to unrest. Once people are not accountable of their action. For example, we're talking about the 16 billion or plus money that now is just, nobody know what is happening.
Does that worry you too?
Oh, it worry me. You know what? No. It makes your country unstable. From my own my own experience and whatever, I think that right now the country is unstable with this issue. You are talking about war crime court, and then you talk about 16 billion Liberian dollar that is still unaccountable. It makes the country unstable. It makes the country unstable, and all need to be done to the government of Liberia need to make sure that this country is not stable, stabilized again. Because how do we do it? Make sure that you bring to book those who has squandered the Liberian people resources. These are hard Liberian money that people have put. They sold their pepper, pay their taxes. They do whatever they did to bring taxes to government. Government need to be accountable, and then the citizen will be accountable to government.
The central bank